Good evening, Natalie. I hope you're doing well. At least, let's seize the opportunity to have your feedback on the voice and on the image. Tell me, please. Ahlan Si Uthman. Ahlan wa sahlan. Hello. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for making it to this live. We will wait until maybe more friends join us. Si Rashid, marhaba. Hello. I hope you're doing well. I'm sorry for being late. It's beyond my capacity, and unfortunately, I had to cope with some technical issues, both on the computer and also on this device I am using. Okay, so we have 5 people watching us. We will see if more people will join us. Otherwise, we will call it a day again. Never mind. I hope that people have read the announcement and that they are interested not only in the because this has to do with teaching, but also because this is an opportunity to raise their awareness about language and about the English language specifically. Okay, so thank you very much for joining. Okay, sorry for the vertical format. Normally it should be the other way around, but again, this is one way of solving the technical issue I talked to you about. Ahlan, Ustad Mustafa. Ahlan wa sahlan. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for joining. Well, waiting for more people to join us because I see that we have only 6 people after 2 minutes have elapsed. Would you kindly share the live the way you do it, the way you usually do it, so that more people can join us? Okay, the 7th friend has joined. I don't know what to do in this regard because this is not really encouraging when you have only 7 people. So do your best, please, to share. Otherwise, we can switch back to TikTok. I think that's where we can have more people. So it's 9 people are joining. We will wait anyway. Just in case there is a question that we can answer, before waiting for more people to come, then this would be a good thing. This would be, we will gain some time and. Okay, Nu 1990 me says hello dear professor. Hello dear Nu 99. Thank you for making it. Thank you for joining. It's a pleasure to have you here, my friends, and it's a good thing to see that people are the select few. That's why English people have invented the word, the expression, the select few. Okay, the select few means that the people who are intellectuals, the people who are who are high achievers in their different fields are very few compared to the masses. Okay, nice. So it's if we had converted these live sessions into futilities, you will have seen thousands of people coming to see and to share it but this has to do with English, and the irony is that so many people are asking towards the end, how can I improve? You cannot improve, my friend, if you do not make enough effort from the first time, from when you have time. Okay, if you wait until the end, until the emergency, that there is nothing to salvage, there is nothing to rescue, it will be too late. Okay, my friends, so we have 13 people here in hopes that this number will increase. So this has nothing to do with any other thing than simply encouragement. You see, because there is effort on my part anyway. Very nice. So let me repeat something that I said yesterday in the TikTok live video concerning the fact that many students, while they're still at the university level, believe for one reason or another that what is important is that they know the ideas. The worst mistake ever and the biggest problem ever. I will elaborate this after I respond to okay, a few comments. Okay, Dr. Mustafa says my whole life is devoted to research and helping people. I'm doing my best to help people every day. I thank you for the great effort. Barakallah fik, Dr. Mustafa, and this is why you are a doctor, and you have produced that very beautiful thesis, beautifully written thesis, and that with those great ideas of yours. So thank you very much. Nawal, good evening, Nawal. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for making it to this live. Basma Sabani, hello, dear professor. Hello, Basma. Thank you again for making it to this live. I think this number now that we have is encouraging, number 19. So we can still continue with this live session because we will have it to consider, the heart, what I believe is the heart of the problem when it comes to the application for a teaching job. I made the point in yesterday's live on TikTok that that so many students during their university life, so many, not all of them, of course, they will never mind their English. When you ask them about whether something takes the S or not, they will poke fun at you. You see, because they will say, well, أنا عاد غادي نرجع للبكالوريا ولا السيزيام ولا S1 واش هنا S1. I heard this. واش ولينا S1. And I could judge that in the way some students laugh when I tell them at the level of S5. I can observe that. I make believe that I didn't notice anything, but I do observe. Don't think that I'm not overreactive. And this is a technique, by the way. Some students make, perform certain gestures. There are some professors who might, first gesture out. First kind of misbehavior. In my case, when it is something light like that, like when I talk to them about the fact that they need to improve their English and they have to go back to grammar one, I see that there are some people who burst into laughter, maybe in indication that I am old school. That's the thing, you see. But the problem is that when you take your diploma, you have your diploma, you produce your gotta go, and you produce those features. You flap your dentals and your alveolars. You flap them in a very nice way. You write, that it's cause, not because. You write ain't, and you speak like this because you are probably influenced by rappers. You gesticulate like an American, but is this enough, my friend? Bashir, is this enough? Will this help? Answer, no, it will not help. No, it will not help. Why? What is the difference between someone who is a student at the English department and someone who has studied English at a language center? They know ain't, gonna, gotta, cause, etc. Haduk. If they write it in an essay, لا حرج عليهم. Why? Because they have not been at the English department. But when you are at the English department, you have studied courses that require a very high level of English, and yet you produce those things at the level of S5 and S6. Okay, so this is one way of sensitizing people, of sensitizing students that mind in their language. So your key, your password is the mastery of the English language, especially these days. The general level, people believe that English is spreading, and this is true. But is there enough quality? Answer, no. People who write like they talk, this is nonsensical at best and irrelevant at worst. So you cannot claim that you have a BA degree in English at a time when you say yesterday and you say you have. And when you are corrected, you poke fun at your interlocutor, saying that I am not. Are you taking me for an S1 student? This so happens. This so happens. Good. That's point one. Point two. All right. When you submit your candidacy for teaching, whether we are talking about the private or the public. When I say private, by the way, there are some private institutions that pay very well. Some teaching, opportunities are really prestigious, but your English should equally be prestigious. علاش? Because the one who will hire you with a salary and with your insurance, with your retirement plan, with all your documents, there are some institutions that do that for English, for BA degree holders in English. But what should you have in return? Do they take into account your beauty? No, they don't. You see? Do they take into account whether you say got to go or not? I gotta go, I gotta be there. Will they take into account whether you gesticulate like a rapper? No. They hire usually inspectors, les inspecteurs ديال lycée. They usually hire these great minds, by the way. تحية لكل inspectors ديال ELT in Morocco. They are doing an amazing job and they are really, 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 competent. And they will have to give you an oral exam, and on many occasions there will also be a written exam. And even in the oral exam there might be questions like, write this to me, compose the sentence, combine these sentences, take this whiteboard pen and write, etc. Okay, all sorts of questions. You have to be armed with good English, with accurate English. راه English اللي كتقول لك I will not go عوض I won't go، راه ماشي اولد سكول ولا قديمه، ولا راه اللي ما كيقولش got to go كيقول لك I'm going to go، راه ماشي متخلف لغويا. هذا الدراري خصهم يفهموا هذا الشيء، باسكو انا كنشوف يا دي فوا انا علاش كنقول هذا الشيء، راه جو كوريج كنكوريجي اس 3 حدي ولا حرج. اس 3 مثلا في الكومبوزيشن كاين شي حد كيعمر لك داك all the document, all the the answer sheet. But what will you read there? No comma, no full stop, and no capitalization rules. Nothing. It's like they are transcribing a recorded conversation of someone who is talking in the street. This is not good. There are some norms of academia that we have to abide by. This being the case, and building on this, I would like to tell everyone here that when you submit your candidacy, because you are dreaming of becoming a teacher, and I wish you all the best in this regard. I'm just doing here sensitization. I'm not criticizing. Ambrose will never criticize like that. You see? كدير فيكم النفس الناس ماشي كاملين. شوي ديزولي، معنا دكاتره، معنا الناس اللي عندهم ماستر، معنا الناس اللي هما تري كومبيتون، جو كوني. مي الا كان كيتصدق لشي واحد of this type, and there are so many، الله يخليك اجمع راسك هكا صافي. That's the thing. Understand that working on your English is the key. واخا تقرا 750 غومو، if your English is broken, it's broken. Because the people who will hire you at high school or in the private, what will they do with your reading of post-colonial literature and linguistics books and cultural studies books? No, they want correct English. You see? So, as a matter of sincere and brotherly piece of advice, those of you who are, watching me here, it's not too late. It's not late. You will still take your level one notch higher if you start. You have a lot of time. We believe that we don't have time. We do have a lot of time. We have problems with time management, and we have problems sacrificing. I don't know this idea of sacrifice. الويكاند كاين اللي ما كيقيسش الويكاند، خص الويكاند ديالو. قالوا كيس كيل فا فير في الويكاند، يفوا فواياجي، يمشي لفرنسا، يمشي هنا، يمشي. Mais c'est quoi ça? No, you are. Everything comes with time. You may get your job, etc. You will feel at ease. Then you have your travels and your weekends and your. You see. But it's a moment of sacrifice. If you are young, you are in your early 20s, late, maybe 19, 18, no. Anyway, if you're in your early 20s, and you think that it's too much for you to learn, I am so sorry. This is not the right approach. You need to build your future. The future will not come to you. You have to go to your future. Okay? How can you do that? By working hard in the area you are supposed to be specialized in. راه محسوب عليك ديبارتمون دونجلي. راه اخي بحاجه هو يكون عندك اجازه في الانجلي ويسولك شي واحد على برا. راه دابا الناس ولات عارفه. He will ask you a question about a conditional or about something and هو غادي يجي يسولك يقول لك شرح لي علاش كنقولوا هداي ولا شي حاجه وانت ما عارف داك هداي ما عرفتيهاش. هذا مصيبه. رانا I saw cases just like that. Okay, so we have 27 people here, 17 likes. Please, just help. مالكم مسمومين. I'm sorry. ديروا صاحبي ديروا un simple gem. Vous n'allez pas payer. You will not pay anything. So you click on the like. Yeah, you click on the like. That's all that we want. انا قلتها وكانت دي set like ولا تسيز like واحد unlike باش تعرفوا الناس كم. alright anyway شوف with 27 people I will not get any amount of money غير تهنوا. You see 26 27 100 120 if you think that I'm here for money or something. اللي يبغى الماني راه كيمشي للبريفي. Okay, nice. So let me resume. So whether you opt for the public or the private, and there are opportunities, I wish you all the best. It's because you will use English for your work, in your job. You will be your English will be checked somehow. Why? Because it so happens that we have people, as I told you, there are so many, and I was even phoned by a friend of mine one day. He asked me about a professor, a teacher that they had there, and I happened to tell him, yes, that teacher was my student a few years ago. And he told me, unfortunately, this teacher is teaching a lot of mistakes. He's making a lot of mistakes, and the parents, the students' parents, many students' parents came to express their anger. You see, there were mushkil. There are people there are children whose parents follow their progress. They follow, some, I was told of regular verbs, irregular verbs, etc. And there is an anecdote, I don't know if that friend is with us here. This one was, again, a long time ago. It was in 2009. It was my first years at the university as a professor. Years went by, and one day I received a message on Facebook. Hello, sir. I need your help, please. Help with what? And the question was, look at the question, look at the type of question. Do we say, I was born in Rabat, for example? No, not, wait. Rabat or the date, anyway. I don't remember. But anyway, the verb to be born. I was born. Do we say I was born or I have been born? And I answered her, are you kidding me that you're still talking about born? Whether we say I was born. And she told me that she had a colleague there, the same institution, who, who dared her to be correct. So the other teacher was saying we should say I have been born. And this student says, no, it's I was born. شوفوا عليه ايش كيدبزوا. And I told her, what was the argument that the lady gave you, the other professor gave you? She said that her argument was that we should say I have been born because I am still alive. Is this logical? No, it's not. Should we laugh at this? No, we should not. Is this surprising? Yes, it is. You see, this is very surprising. Voilà, my friends, mind your English, please. Mind your English, mind your English. Not only should you mind your English, not only should you work on exercises and intensify your work on the language, but you should also have enough meta language. That is to say, the capacity to explain and to say why. Because, students, when you are a teacher, you will have some teachers may have hard times, answering some students' questions. Okay? Why is this? Why do we have this? Why do we say is going, not was going? For example, I'm just spontaneous, but questions like these are to be expected from students. They are common questions among students. Okay, so I sensitize you to do that. Please, ladies and gentlemen, see if you can find previous exams and work on them. See if you could find a grammar textbook so that you can work on the questions and check the key, the answer key. And the answer key should give you enough feedback so that when you go back to do the exercise again, you will, do it with fewer errors made. And this is how we learn. So this is built. That's the secret for grammar. Okay? I repeat, let me give you a golden rule for mastering grammar without any problem at all. Do exercises, never have enough of this activity of exercising yourself on grammar points. So take exercise 1, work all the series. I remember I used to go up to 120 questions in grammar in McKinsey's book, and Living English Structure, and also Practical English Grammar, which I believe are the classics, and the ones who really want to learn, to have a good grasp of grammar. عليكم بهالثلاث الكتب ما فيها إلا هدي. We have an answer key. Now you may find them online available, but you have an answer key there. You have everything. All that you need is some time and some motivation. You will solve all the problems, and you will not make mistakes when you write. Okay, so consider this, ladies and gentlemen, as a piece of advice. And if someone asks you, because I have professors here and I have doctoral students, and if they have friends who are intending to apply for some, for a job in the field of teaching, ask them to develop a kind of knowledge that reflects the diploma that they will have. I'm serious, because I saw a lot of problems. I noticed a lot of problems in students writing, honestly. Very good. So who is asking? No, 99 says, so we have to work hard each day to create our bed. That's excellent. That's excellent. I like the way you expressed it. No. She says, so we have to work hard each day. علاش each day? It's because your future is with English, my friend. Your future, that's the only thing you have. Unless you have another craft. And then you oscillate between this, plan A and plan B. But if it's just teaching, even your family, members, the people who cater for your studies, etc., these people will expect of you, or expect you to, maybe to find a job and to work, but with your English preferably. Because if you are going to have a craft, why are you going to spend all the time, Anyway, so you have a diploma. It needs, your knowledge needs to reflect that degree that you have. That's all. Aussi simple que ça. So, Nunu 99 says, so we have to work hard each day. Each day is very important. Each day, not just a one-shot thing, each day, many times a day. Okay, because that you are taking your highway towards, a point, you have to be equipped. You can't be equipped by sidestepping, the real tasks that you're supposed to do. By saying, well, I will not, get involved in a writing activity, for example. Or grammar, no, what is important, what is important is the message. We are not in a, in a multi in an unintelligible environment, so that we will need, what is important is, don't speak. If you don't speak, then the message can get across. No problem with that. Come on. Now there is this accuracy that has decreased dramatically over the last decade or 2 decades. It has witnessed a dramatic, decrease in quality. Thank you very much, my friends. Alors, Anaya, we have a name there, HFF, etc. Thank you very much for everything. Marhaba, marhaba, Sir Rashid, marhaba, everyone here. Worst mindset to have as a learning seeking, as a learning. Yeah, that's a mindset, unfortunately, that we have, and I hope people will be sensitized to these things, because they have to be. The best thing is when you go to an interview and people will marvel at how you express yourself. And by the way, if you express yourself in a nice way, it will show on their reflections. One of the candidates, one individual who had a very high degree in front of professors who have had 40-year experience teaching. And I happened to be a jury member in some event, and the person, used the verb, because he claimed that he is doing business English, I think, and he used the word to jeer. We asked him, because what is to jeer? قال لك digérer, c'est to jeer in English. We also say to jeer. We all checked in our dictionaries the word, lest we should have missed it, and the word jeer does not exist. And there are anecdotes and stories, and you see, so that's the thing. If you are an S5er, an S6 student, if you will start your S3, S4, S1 anyway, do your best to shape up, do your best to have to prepare yourself, to make yourself ready for the job market. There are plenty of opportunities, but those plenty of opportunities, they would choose the best. The recruiters will choose them. If 10 people apply and they want 3 teachers, and it so happens, by the way, in different institutions here, I know so many of my former students who are getting paid in a nice way. They have a very good job, etc. They are satisfied, etc. You see, they need just 3 positions, and you are 10. Why are they going to take you? Will they take someone who will create problems? It's the reputation, because people have invested their money. You see, it's the reputation of the institution. They want the best because they will give you a salary. They want to take the best from you. Just like that. They will not do you a favor, and you will not do them any favor. But there needs to be some equity in the services, in what you get and what they get. A good salary for a good profile. All right? I totally agree. An English department graduate must acquire the necessary grammatical elements to be distinguished from the layman. Thank you very much, C. Mrabih Al-Hadi. Thank you. Look at how he writes. This is very clean. That's really interesting. So thank you very much for contributing with this beautifully written statement. Hello, Frank Joseph, Mustafa, one of them. Yeah, I know the person, and there are his colleagues as well. I know them all, most of them, not all of them, of course. All right, thank you. Okay, this Frank Joseph says that I don't know. So let's the benefit of the doubt. So we will just move on. Ahlan Nuni Nunus, ahlan wa sahlan. But we need we need that lady from what's her name? I forgot. That's Sumia. Sumia, the one who wrote Nuni Nunus there, because she thought that you were you were a kid, or I don't know. But anyway, welcome. Thank you very much, and it's a pleasure to have you with us here. Asma B said hi. Hi, Asma. Thank you for joining. Thank you. So we have Mrabi. Thank you so much, Professor. I can genuinely feel the brotherly intentions. Barakallahu fik, barakallahu fik. Yeah, it's good. It's like an elder brother trying to advise his younger brothers. Thank you very much. Ru, you must invest time and effort. I fully agree with you. Thank you for making it this way. Thank you so much. Layla, reading English literature is a must to help students develop English at earlier level. At early levels, yes. Except that I want to add something to this, Layla H, our friend. Yeah, it's good. It's good to read novels, that's for sure. But it's also good to do some intensive work on the grammar of the language. I am more for an approach where we work intensively on shorter texts because they are manageable, because you have clear-cut objectives. Today I have this text, I have to read it 3, 4, 5 times, read through the sentences. I'm talking about the people at the supposedly advanced levels whose English is poor, and that is not good enough. So one thing one can remedy this abominable state of affairs is to have recourse to short texts, circle the expressions, the idiomatic expressions, the words, everything, put them aside. If there are things, that you don't understand or you have doubts about, it's not at all harmful to ask someone to check with you. A classmate, a more knowledgeable other, you see, to help. And learning is just like that. We cannot know everything, that's for sure. The proof is that so many students at the level of V6 don't know what a subjunctive is. Okay? So reading English literature is very good. I will not deny this, the importance of reading literature. Very good, and there have been theses. One of them was only recently defended, a very outstanding one. But I am more in favor of an approach that relies on short text and on focused points. You break down the process into manageable chunks. Nice. The proverb says, it's not the burden that breaks your back. It's the way you carry this burden. It's the way you carry it. So we have to learn smartly. Okay? Very nice. Okay, thank you, Leila. Thank you for this interesting. Challenge. Okay, wait a minute. So thank you, dear friends. Thank you for all your comments. Nawal challenge. Deba, maybe you reacted to something I said before. Nawal, if I did not get you, then probably you need to write the message again. He's still being born. He's still being born. Okay, maybe this is something that harks back to something we said earlier. Okay. Wait a minute. We have this report remove. Okay, I have removed that guy who is disliking this live. God knows. Yeah, it's bad. Yeah. Wait a minute. Report. Sorry, my friends, unwanted comments. I just need to justify this. I have reported them. Okay. Never mind. Ahmed, previous exams help so much. Absolutely. So it's really nice. Previous exams at different levels. Now, if we're talking about the teaching exam, then it's a good idea to get a few copies. Maybe there are Facebook groups where you can meet people who will, help you with the copies of previous exams on which you will work and discuss, maybe with friends. This is possible. But for reasons of brushing up on their English, you see, previous exams are also good. ولكن plus que previous exams. The previous exams are just representative. You see, اسمع سي رشيد وقيلة. Previous exams are good. You know, if you find a previous exam, you work on it, you check, etc. But in an exam, you have a synopsis of everything. You see, but in a textbook, you have exercises. Each exercise may have up to 20 items, which means that it's good to do those exercises, to focus on those exercises in textbooks. Thank you very much. Zainab, hello dear professor. أهلا أستاذة زينب, مرحبا بك. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you. Okay, I think we have a crazy guy here who is asking me where I am from, and he is, is disliking. I don't know whether he is a foreigner who is, I don't know. I don't know how to block him. Normally he should be blocked, this one here. Anyway, no shortcuts. Enter, you do it or not. Yeah, I don't know if Hadi is reacting to something I said before. Ahmed, sometimes one can be good at the linguistic competence but lacks the communicative competence. Let me open a bracket, and I'm sure I will have maybe people may not understand this. They might interpret this with some subjectivity. بالحق, I firmly believe, because this notion of communicative competence, it seems that it was not understood by many in the right way. This led so many people, this notion, the المقاربة التواصلية, the communicative approach, has made so many people tolerate mistakes, even in the written production of students, because they say, well, what is important is their communicative competence. اسمح لي, no, primarily, accuracy and then fluency. Because when you jump over accuracy in the name of communication, because we have mass media, we have access to native speakers and all that, this is nice, but احنا بالضبط ما كنهضروش على الناس اللي كيقراو في السونتر. هذوك بوحدهم، هذوك كيتعلموا بور لو بليزير، بور لا كومونيكاسيون مع عباد الاخرين. كي حنا لا، حنا at the English department راه ما يمكنش اخويا that's tantamount to putting the cart before the horse. So it's not good to put the cart before the horse. We have to mind our accuracy. We have to make sure we are responsible for it. Then, of course, accuracy on its own is worth nothing. But where is the mistake? The mistake is when you jump, when you tolerate, you say, well, هذيك غير accuracy. أنت باقي في الكامة، باقي في capital letters. These lazy, ideas. You see? So please understand my perspective here. If you would like to respond, مرحبا بكم. We are open. Fatima Salam, علوم التربية. You say that, and you have left maybe in reaction to something before. Probably. Thanks, Asma. Okay, so that was something that an exchange anyway. Students are now, Zuhur Fairuz says, students now are so much addicted to social media that they cannot focus on developing their competencies. Zuhur, I agree with you. That's the thing. And social media, I think it's misused to a large extent. It's misused. It's not used correctly. This is an opportunity that needs to be exploited for the development of fluency, accuracy, all sorts of competencies. But unfortunately, in students' discussions, they use Moroccan Arabic. An opportunity that is golden. In my times, because I studied in the prehistoric times, I remember I don't know if you know Rabat very well, the ones who are not from Rabat. There is a place that was called Dar America. Dar America was in Swiss, you see, and we had to go on foot from the Qamra, sometimes from the Faculty of Letters, or okay, on foot under the sweltering and scorching sun to reach Dar America. Why Dar America? Because in Dar America they were encyclopedias. It was like you are in paradise. The whole afternoon is yours. Take as many books as you want to read there. Okay, and you take a dictionary and you copy the ideas. There was no phone to take a picture with. There was nothing except those things, and they helped us a lot. And look, you know, you go all the way to Qamra, from Qamra there and back to Qamra on foot, you know, because we were students and we could not afford, you know, the money for the taxi. Just imagine, you know, if people use technology the way that library at that time was used. This is c'est une occasion, c'est une opportunité ratée. Because the student, and I know many who developed their skills just based on their work on using social media. So one thing that S5, S6 students can do is to group themselves in small groups, 2 or 3, and they will decide, them, you know, with each other, they will decide that they will work exclusively, they will communicate exclusively in English. Not just any English, but in formal English with the comma, with the full stop, and whoever finds notices a mistake, he or she, you know, may work girls and boys, you should correct it and suggest why. And as it, believe it or not, over a period of 6 months, just 6 months, you will go far higher than you are than you are expecting yourself to be. ولكن unfortunately كاين الناس اللي كيقول لك خصني ناخذ غير الاجازه ماشي شغلي في لا نوت. كاين اللي كيقول لك ودي what is important are the ideas. اسمح لي no ماشي what is important are the ideas. No, because you are the English department, you see, and your parents pride themselves on having a son or a daughter at the English department, you know, because your parents talk to the neighbor, and I'm sure your neighbors know what you do and what you don't do, you know. Yeah, we are like that, we are Moroccans, we are very convivial, and you see. So this is the idea. Again, this boils down to the conclusion that it's not late to work to develop your English skills, your language skills, because it's your responsibility as an English department student. It doesn't mean anything to have a BA degree with a lot of lacunae, plural of lacuna. Lacuna, c'est gaps, okay? With a lot of gaps in English. See? عيب. Voilà. Et so أولا عيب. ثانيا professionally you need your English. اسمح لي. You need your English. People want to develop their English without returning or going back to previous books, to S1 courses, and why are they there? Voilà. Sorry. Thank you, Zohar, for that. Dr. Mustafa says the inert knowledge problem is a concept from educational psychology that refers to the phenomenon where learners acquire knowledge but fail to use it when it is relevant in real-life situations. And you know, in this quotation, Mustafa, this quote that you have, we can also include grammar. We can also include composition, sentence structure. That language, that accuracy part falls here too. And I fully agree with you. Okay? So in other words, the knowledge exists in the learner's mind. It becomes dormant. Dormant, جات من dormir, hein? It comes from dormant, and it becomes dormant. It becomes, and it sinks into oblivion over time. Tough. You see? To Jir, I heard that. Yes, I will have more comments, I think, here. Your academic company, you need to work on your... yeah, because I'm proud of this accent, Frank. Because I'm not a native speaker anyway. ولا سير تعاود لمخك. فوالا هكذا. سير. You go. What are you doing here? Okay, Outman has retracted the message. No, thank you, Professor. I'm glad to see you again. Thank you so much. Do you supervise PhDs in translation studies? Are you referring to my person? Not in translation studies, unfortunately. Not in, but there are professors who can do this if they have enough room for more students. Okay. Very interesting. Thank you so much, dear professor, for your guidance and advice. You are welcome, Sheikh, Mr. Sheikh, marhaban bik. Zuhur, we should focus on form and meaning as well. Yeah, that's true. Meaning is part of it, of course. You know, when we're talking about language use and word choice, that's meaning because it has to fit meaning-wise. Okay. Hello everyone. Hello Hamza. What do you think about the new decision of making? Again, the same monster question comes. Hamza, I cannot say anything about this for the moment because I am not sure what criteria, what precise criteria, will be, taken. Okay, I cannot, I don't have enough information, and it's my habit not to express myself on things that I'm not well informed about, honestly. Okay. English UB, thank you for your effort. Marhaba, English UB, thank you so much. Rashid, Si Rashid, marhaba, Si Rashid, thank you. Hamza, Bahra, I don't know how to, anyway, never mind. What do you think about the new decision? Tony, all right. Oh, I think I have answered you. Zawan Samir, hello, dear professor, much appreciated. Marhaba, my friend. Si Samir, thank you. Asma, hi. Abdadi, I agree, Professor. I think we shouldn't brush the incompetencies of students being unable to write a string of words without errors under the rug of communicative approach. They express it your way. Exactly. We should not. Sometimes we have to be firm. This is the academic world. Should not be permissive with everything. ايوا راه غير ادي هذيك راه غير نسى ادي ايوا هذيك غير كمان نساها ايوا capitalization اسمح لي nobody will even in the US when you go and you think that they will at their universities. Do you know that there are native speakers who because they pay for the university, they will pay large sums of money to get to the university, but they will not get if they don't satisfy certain requirements, one of which is to show good writing skills. They ask them to write an essay, and if they do not, they have to pay the course of freshman composition, and it's a must. Do you think that native speakers are not exposed to courses in writing? And that's something people need to understand. Okay. Ahlan, Dr. Mustafa. We have two doctors by the name of Mustafa, and I happen to be a jury member in their thesis. Si Mustafa Walaf, good evening, I hope you're doing well. By the way, Si Mustafa Walaf, apart from being a doctor, he is also an inspector, a very competent one. Mustafa. Okay, Samir, accuracy is highly taken into consideration. Academically, and fluency is for real life talk where a mistake is... That's true. And the mindset that says, well, what is important is the message. It's not what's important is the message. No. كاينش هادشي. Not what is important is the message. شكون قالها لك؟ قريتي في ان سونتر دو لونغ واخا سيتي متفق معاك الله يعاونك. كاين اخويا انت راك في لافاك. There are certain requirements and it's a must. It's a must that you learn. Everything that has to do with grammar, you need to not only to learn, to know, but also to be able to explain with the required spontaneity. Is this difficult? No, it's not difficult. Is it too late for example, someone who has had the degree? No, it's not too late. Fortunately, that's the good news. Let me announce the good news here. No, it's not too late. It's not late. يلا ابدأوا. Look for a series of exercises with the key, preferably with the key, باش نكونوا شوية self confident. نكونوا مطمئنين بالأجوبة ديالنا. So it's good. just try to do it this way. And read one short text per day, maybe per 2 days, but per 2 days machine no. Every now and then revisit it. A 5 paragraph text, preferably one with some difficult vocabulary. Just choose something academic and you read through it. And you will see the results very soon. Okay, very good. All right, Natalie Leblanc said something here. It's good to write something every day. Yes, using new words. That's a very good strategy. The new word that you have learned, that you have enlisted in your copybook for new words. Try to look for the nearest opportunity to use it. That will pay off. There will come a time when we'll use these expressions. They will come like that, spontaneously. And spontaneity is achieved through these types of activities. You will never be spontaneous. Why? You will be spontaneous if you talk to native speakers, but you will be spontaneous with the use of that type of English that I'm talking about. I'm sorry, I did not activate the Wi-Fi. You see, and I got the message that I need credit. Okay, fine. I think the Wi-Fi is on now. Let me see. It's fine. All right. أهلا أستاذ اعتماد أهلا وسهلا. I hope you are doing well and you enjoy where you are these days. I wish you all the best. Thank you very much. Yes, in TEFL classrooms, Ahmed says, there is a huge focus on fluency through tasks that develop this at the expense of accuracy, such as grammar. It's a big problem. Big problem. It's the two, yes. But to be tolerant of, mistakes in grammar and language use in the name of developing communicative competence, that does not stand to reason. Okay, Atimad is hailing you, community. Thank you so much. Thank you. Marhaba bik, Atimad. Zuhur says, which teaching approach do you advocate? The best one is an eclectic one. Why? It's because, in a typical classroom, we have a diversity, we have a heterogeneity. So on different occasions, this is also task dependent. On different occasions, you have you have an approach, and sometimes you act spontaneously. You don't know what approach it is. But I believe a good teacher is one who is responsive to to any situation that can arise in the classroom. Any learning difficulty needs to be atoned for, or to be any learning difficulty needs to be remedied, depending on the type of learner you have, depending on the type of mistake, depending on the task, etc. So that's how I think eclecticism is the best thing. Okay, good. Thank you, Asma. What is the best approach? Which teaching approach? Asma and Zhora are asking roughly the same thing. What is the best to need to adopt in primary, middle school, and university? It's roughly the same one, but for the primary school, I would recommend, because children are more likely to learn when they sing, when there is some rhythm, when they. You see, that's why if you have children, at home, in your family, for example, you may notice that when the child comes back from the school, from school, he or she starts singing. At night, they are singing. In the morning, on holidays, they are singing what they have learned in the class. So, teaching through songs is a very nice way of teaching children. Games also, because you make them involved, etc. And of course, the games can also be at the level of middle school, but you need to adapt it to their age, etc. For the university, it's more it's more what I said in reaction to Zuhur Fayruz, our friend here who asked this question. It's eclecticism, and you respond to different situations, because I dare say that classrooms are necessarily heterogeneous. You cannot impose a one-size-fits-all, on people, just like that. You see. Okay, thank you, Asma. Thank you. Nunu, how do you personally choose which academic sources to trust in your research? This may not relate to the our topic, but it's fine. It's fine. How do you personally choose which academic sources to trust? You trust the classics because every field has renowned authors in it. I think, can you study motivation without Lambert, Gardner, without Dornier and without others? Can you study translanguaging without Garcia, Leeway, Kanagaraja, and all those? Can you study code switching without Gumpers? So these are the primary sources that you need to consult. But if you are talking about a book, or you see, you need to do some search on whether it's a predatory journal or not. For example, if you have an article at hand, with the phrase received on the 19th of September 2025 and published on the 20th or the 23rd, it means that you gave them the article, they took 2 days to review it, and then they post it. That's not serious, because for an article to be accepted, the process is really, really long. Things like these, of course, and check how frequently they are cited, and these are some of the techniques that you can use. Okay, thank you, Si Mustafa Walaf. Marhaba خويا marhaba. Thank you. It's a pleasure to have you with us here. Hamza, the future of translators in the era of AI. Are you asking me the question, what is my opinion, or Hamza? I cannot. Are you asking me what's the future of translators? God knows, because because AI is developing in a rapid way, and I really cannot predict what's going to happen in this regard. Really. Okay, what are your thoughts on the SIOP model? You ask Nawal. We have Nawal here who produced an outstanding thesis. That's Nawal Khadar on SIOP model, and she compared it to the competency-based approach, and she excelled in arguing for her way. But that's good. But I don't think there is apart from Nawal herself said that the references that evaluate this approach in Morocco are rare. So probably the thoughts need to spring from empirical evidence, from perhaps a comparison of the two approaches. Row. You give it a try if you are at the level of doctorate. Row. Okay. Nice. Saab Hadi, Mr. Hamza, I think the translation as a whole domain is going to be taken over. However, human feedback, etc. Yeah, the human is always there. It's like teaching. Some people say that teaching will be, superseded by technology, but to what extent is this plausible? What is your opinion concerning the formation that Moroccan universities offer in English studies? Hamza, can I point out something, please? Here, we do not say formation for la formation. Sad, it's maybe this is a French word, so we say training. Okay, so what is your opinion concerning the training that Moroccan universities offer? It's of a very high quality. I repeat, the training that the Moroccan universities offer in English studies is a training of a very high quality. Proof of this is that we have in different parts of the world, we have our students who teach there, some at the university, some at prestigious schools. Every year I have students who, and they have the kindness of informing me because they are polite. Because you see, so it's of quality. Si Hamza, it's a training of very high quality. I assume I have this ability to compare with a few countries in which which I visited, and I sojourned in some for a few months. and I came to this conclusion that the Moroccan the English studies in Morocco is a real treasure. Am I exaggerating? No, I'm not exaggerating. All right. المشكلة هو أن some students do not take advantage of this. That's all. Because look, when you are exposed to all components of grammar 1, grammar 2, you have composition 1, composition 2, you have literature, you have different professors who are really competent. There are professors competent in cultural studies, in linguistics, in applied linguistics. You see, and they are making huge efforts to help students. And you see, it's not because I belong to the English department. That's far from that. ولكن evidence is concrete. Give me a country and I can even name a student who is teaching there. A student of mine. خلي عاد students الآخرين. Okay, yeah, that's very good. Thank you. What strategies would you recommend for identifying a strong and feasible PhD research topic? Okay, I would have liked the questions to concern the exam because I have the exam here. By the way, قبل ما نجاوب السي بشير, my friends, the 26 people or so who are watching me here, I have, some of my friends have had the kindness of sending me copies of some previous exams. I will be using them to, discuss some language problems that you need to be aware of, and we will be doing online training on these things. So if you promise that you will come back tomorrow in this number, we will start that, because I wanted to do it this way, but the discussion has been taken far afield, which means that we will continue to answer your questions in this live sessions, and we will start the language problems tomorrow, inshallah. So come back, and those of you who want to brush up, not necessarily the ones who want to apply for teaching, but it's language, so we'll be doing we will be doing work on the language. Okay, what strategies would you recommend for identifying a strong and feasible PhD topic? Smart Said Bashir, thank you for this question, and although it's between brackets, any given topic, no, I don't know which code I should use to express myself here. Look, there is a category of doctorate candidates. كاين واحد لا كاتيجوري هكذا. They enjoy the summer holidays the way other people do enjoy it, and they do not think about the doctorate until a couple of days or 3 days before the submission of their project. What do? I will then gonna اسمحوا لي غنرجع لذاك المثال اللي ديما كنعطيه من دونك the use of technology. زوين هذا الموضوع. علاش كيقول زوين؟ Because he will treat it from a perspective that does not need research. For example, problems, the rooms are not equipped and all teachers refuse training, are not willing to learn, they are traditional, and young learners because they use their iPhones. And does this need any research? Okay, بقى كنشتم في البروبوزل ويعطيه لهذا شكون غادي nobody will take it. So read enough documents about the topic, know the issues in the topic, know about the authors and what they said about the topic, and then see what needs to be further investigated there. Very easy to do that. غير هو راه ما يمكنش تكتب مشروع بحث، ما يمكنش تكتب a proposal for a doctorate وانت ما قاري، ماشي انت بالضبط، اسمح لي السي بشير، I'm not talking انت you in general. والانسان ما قاري حتى شي حاجه على ذاك سميتو. دونك you will not have a feasible thesis in this case. If you have a topic that you want to know about, this is very good. If you have a topic in linguistics, in cultural studies, in applied linguistics that you want to know it, you do some readings about it. Sorry, I need to branch this because okay, that's very good. Nice. Okay, so you might choose a topic out of sheer curiosity to know more about it. That's one thing. You might decide to choose a topic because you studied that in the master. You worked in your master thesis. By the way, the piece of advice I'll give you. Why don't you take up the topic you had in your master and try to develop it? You can add 2 or 3 hypotheses, give it another orientation. This way, you will save a lot of trouble for you. You see. But don't copy the master's degree because it will not it will be rejected because you will give them your master as well. So be careful. Okay, so you need a topic that you know something about. Read some documents and see what غير شوف غير لي زوبجيكتيف ديالهم هذوك الناس اللي قريتي ليهم وشوف انت شنو غادي تزيد مثلا. That's one way. And قبل ما نسد هذا القوس السي بشير, try to, how will you know if you have a strong and feasible PhD research topic? If you are able to identify 3 or 4 objectives, 3-4 les objectifs, to do this, to investigate, okay, students' attitudes towards the teachers or the teaching style in their classroom. ها واحد. You see, maybe to explore to explore the dynamics, the classroom dynamics of S2, etc. Anyway, of an S2 course. I'm just giving you offhand examples, very extemporized examples, but this is the way we should do things. Okay. غير الواحد ما شوف الانسان ما يقولش ودي هذيك جوري وراه غير بروبوزل غير فورماليتي ولا ما فورماليتي. نقول لك ما فورماليتي ما والو. proposal is taken seriously. راه كيمشيو يقراو البروبوزل اش بغا يقول هذا السيد هذا, واش عنده سميتو لي زوبجيكتيف ديالو كلير, واش قرا شي شويه, عاد نهار الانترفيو غتبين لهم داكشي دو فاسون سبونطاني غيسولوك خاصك تجاوب. Voilà, so I wish you all the best. Bashir, if there is something you think I can help with in discussing with the final shape of your doctorate degree, مرحبا بك. غير راسلني في لاباج ديال الفيسبوك your academic companion, and I can react to your request. There are 2 approaches, C. Mustafa says. One is called a one-size-fits-all. The other is a let-it-pass-by approach, where, that's another that's a beautiful way of saying what I said in this regard. That's very nice. That's true, C. Mustafa. This holds a lot of water, as they say. Yes, okay. كاين ما يسمى بالبيداغوجيا الفارقية. والبيداغوجيا الفارقية هي أنك كاينة ان سيتواسيون ديال ربما عندك واحد المجموعة خصهم تعامل خاص, ربما خصهم بلوس ديكزيرسيس, خصهم انا دي فوا كنطبقها بيان سور. كنقول لشي حد اجي انت ولا انتي ولا هذا, you might want to submit more essays than your friends so that we can have feedback. And many of them bring me more essays and I correct them, and on many occasions this pays off because towards the end they produce excellent essays. Okay, Zhur, I am a TEFL master student. What books do you recommend that are worth reading in the field of education? There are so many, actually. There are so many. It depends on the specific subfield of education that you would like to get. If it's acquisition, if it's language acquisition, then the philosophy of language acquisition is just an amazing book. There is a book by Rod Ellis, Understanding Second Language Acquisition. There is one by Hurst, I think, on individual learner differences. There are many, in fact, that you can. That's just at the level of acquisition. So you have acquisition, you have motivation, you have individual learner differences. And so I mentioned that, where you have, books on attitude, aptitude, and classroom dynamics. It's very, very a very productive field. The field of education is a very productive field, of course. Yeah, but it all depends on the specific area. So my advice is to Zohor Fairuz, if you want to read, then you have to determine which area that you would like to start your readings on, and then you go ahead, inshallah. Okay, so what is the path to follow to be a university professor in English studies? Hamza, if for a student to become a university professor, the law says that you need to have your BA and then your master's and then your doctorate. Once you have these, you have to submit your file, your CV and other documents, of course, including the copy of the doctorate and the thesis of the doctorate. And then, depending on how many positions are there, whether they want one teacher, two teachers, or three teachers, and then there will be a selection of, for one position, they call three candidates for the interview. And one of them wins and the other is in the waiting list. That's how things, But if you are competent, you will stand very high chances. So many of my students are now university professors, by the way. Okay, Sheikh, please, when Ibn Tufayl University Masters be announced? I have no clue, but any time these days. I think you have started announcing, master's programs. Yeah, they have very interesting master's programs there. And last year they had around 3, I think it was 3 they had. But they're doing great, our friends there. Are there some tips for overcoming stress in front of the jury? Sihmed, can I say something? I guess you're talking about the day of the defense. If you're talking about the day of the defense, if there is any stress, it will last half a minute. Or if it lasts more than this, it's 1 minute. You see? Don't worry, if you want to overcome this, you have to assume that the jury members in front of you, you assume that they know as much as you know about your thesis because you worked on it, and you have to assume that you will be able to answer whatever question they will ask. And of course, it's good to do some rehearsal at home in front of a friend of yours, for example, or just record yourself. Better record yourself, and the stress will disappear. Rashid, differentiated instruction or individualized learning, that's very interesting. Yes. Professor Silhadi says, could you help me in order to find a clear route to a PhD in translation studies in Morocco? Yeah, you can apply at King Fahd Institute. I think they have a doctorate program there, and different universities in the country have a translation component. So I think you have an opportunity to apply to different places. But if you are talking about the specific proposal, then I can help you perhaps with if you إلى رسلتني في سميتو غادي نعاونك ماشي مشكل. Okay, to a clear route. You are asking route. What? So submit your application to whichever university in Morocco. أي وحدة annonceات دارت l'annonce ديال un doctorat واللي فيها a translation community, you apply. شنو فيها? You apply wherever you are taken, just go. You see, don't target just one institution. I'm telling you. Okay, see, Abdul Hadi. Okay, Zohor, do you think there are jobs opportunities for master's graduates, or is it commonly believed the master's degree stands as a bridge? It's both. It stands as a bridge, and there are job opportunities. Abdul Bih, I was recruited on the basis of my master at a private higher education institution way back in the year 2001. Okay, and I had not even finished my master's, so I was on the way. I think I had barely started working on the thesis. I took the interview and I saw that, someone wrote there, highly recommended for teaching. You see, you may, it's both, because it's an opportunity. And if هذيك راه شيء الأنز إلى مشيتي للإيطا. Okay. And it's also a bridge. Why not? It's a bridge. أنا بالنسبة لي اللي دار الماستر غير يكمل يدير دكتوراه، وخا يخدم يدير دكتوراه، يا با بروبليم. Okay, so good luck, Zhor. Thank you, Si Mustafa. Although I belong to the world English's paradigm that celebrates sociolinguistic diversity and fights against native speakerism, I agree with the professor. Si Mustafa, I think you have this responsibility of drawing a borderline between what you are interested in as a researcher, and it's good because you are uncovering something that was not known to us before in research locally. I mean, it's good, but keep doing this research without necessarily adopting it in your teaching, because if you adopt it, you will tolerate, you will be saying anything goes. Okay. For example, I want talk you. I want to talk to you. You will not say it's a mistake, because there is some English somewhere that says this. Hate word English is. But it's very interesting as an area of research. It's very interesting as an area of research. And I like your thesis so much because the line of argument is really convincing. Okay, nice. Si'adnan il-Bukhari, hello my dear friend, thank you for joining us. Barakallahu Fik. Universe, hello professor, please, if you don't mind, explain to me what is the Master of English for Specific Purposes. Okay, Universe. English for specific purposes is generally, a program that is distinguished from, teaching English. There are masters for teaching general English, like the one I did. It was called Applied Linguistics and ELT. Okay. We have a program here at our university that is called Theoretical and Applied Linguistics. English for specific purposes is about the English that is used in specific domains. For example, if you want to teach doctors, I mean medical doctors, or nurses or doctors, you want to teach them English. You will not use literary terms, you will not give them texts about Shakespeare, poems to read. You see, you need to teach them the type of English that will help them with their jobs. You might teach engineers, you might teach judges, lawyers, or students, business English. Okay, that's part of ESP. So this is what ESP means, Mr. Universe. Silhadi says, thank you so much. I'll contact you. Marhaba, Silhadi, marhaba. Zhor, how can we deal with the temptation of using the AI writing? شوف, I would recommend the use of AI in preparation for your essay, but that should be part of your training, for your training. But why? Because sometimes there is an expression that you are not aware of. You will ask ChatGPT whether it's better to say it this way or say it this way. And now it's very good use of ChatGPT. You may generate ideas, although I wouldn't recommend it. Sarah. For ideas, it's better to squeeze your mind and, you see, maybe more to check the accuracy of certain expressions, but it may have other uses, okay? But beware, ladies and gentlemen. ChatGPT, it's, and I tried it. And I continued, not in my teaching and learning. Sometimes I do it as well. But I ask about, anything, no matter how evident it is, I find myself asking ChatGPT. A very, c'est une dépendance liée, very high dependence on ChatGPT in our lives. If you want to ask about a health issue, you may have heard the information somewhere, but you have to check the ChatGPT. And sometimes just crazy questions come to mind, like what's the difference between a crocodile and an alligator? Things like these. Okay. Nice. Okay. So it should be used in a principled way. Heavy reliance on it leads to laziness, of course. Zhor, you are talking about writing a research paper. Be careful, please. Be careful. Be careful. Now there are softwares that detect, copying from or using ChatGPT. They can recognize ChatGPT language. So maybe you can keep it for certain, ChatGPT is inevitable, but you should use it in such a way that you will not find yourself plagiarizing. Okay, but that's a temptation, as you told. Sometimes you want to be sure of an idea, for example, etc. Do you have any? So Sheikh says, do you have any WhatsApp group? No. I unfortunately not a group. I have a Facebook page called Your Academic Companion, a TikTok account, Your Academic Companion, and this one here, Marhaba bik, Mr. Sheikh, Marhaba Ru. There have been studies linking the use of AI to a decline in the cognitive functions of users. Yes, one of the guests at one of the conferences I attended a couple of months ago said exactly these things. This has to do with cognitive atrophy, something like that. It's neurodegenerescence. It's because you look at this. The argument is that you see, evolutionarily, the parts of our body that we do not use, they get suppressed, over history. And a neuron that does not work will certainly disappear, and it may have nefarious consequences on the human brain. You see, so heavy reliance on AI is likely to cause harm to the body, especially to the neurons, the cells of the brain. Such a medical English and legal English, very good legalese. Yes, that's true. Thank you, Sir Mustafa. Who says, is it true that students are required or should contact professors and seek their approval? No, that's not a condition. No. You may have worked with someone at the level of the masters, or you may know someone who knows about your topic and might find interest in supervising you. You can do that ahead of time, yes. But generally, it's not a condition. You submit, and the professors will come to check to see if there is a proposal that can fit his intellectual and his research interests, and they can call you. But the condition is that the proposal has to be a good proposal. Very good. Okay, I think you are asking, my friends here are asking very good questions. What is one mindset shift that helped you the most as a student, but that most students overlook? There was no shift, honestly. I have always been like this since my first year, because we used to study, we studied in a 4-year program. And but I think, that's now I will answer you in all sincerity. I will not say obsessed, but I was keen on knowing more words. I was keen on synonyms. I was keen on, fishing up new words, new expressions from the professor. This helped me a lot as a student. And I remember we had a course called novel in the 3rd year, and novel was my weak point. Why? It's because I thought that I was better at linguistics. You see, I was happiest in the linguistics class, and I found, I don't know, that's my feeling at that time. I found it somehow boring to study novels, but I used to read the novels, but for the interpretation it was very hard for me, honestly. You see, I remember we had what we used to call a mock exam, an examen blanc. Our teacher, our professor, الله يذكر بخير أستاذ برادة, you know, he gave us, he asked us, it was in class, to write an essay about the role of the woman in Daniel Defoe's Robinson Crusoe and in James Coates's Foe. My God, how was gender and another thing, I don't remember. Believe it or not, I had two ideas. But my handwriting better. After the handwriting اللي كان عندي دابا ما عرفتي, it was lost. فأنا I am more into the keyboard. See, I used to have very good handwriting. I pride myself on that. I wish I had kept, you know, some of the. Number one, handwriting. Number two, the introduction, the Kshim Firkis. A thesis statement, even if it was an essay in literature. And that's why I'm saying to you, you know, you have to apply what you do in composition when you answer questions. I developed the first paragraph with the topic sentence, developing idea, concrete example, etc. Conclude this. I worked on this. That was what I believed would be my strong point in that essay. Otherwise, if he judges my knowledge, it's. And next to me, there was a friend who was super active, but someone who used to say that what is important is the message, not the way you write. When I received the grade, I got a 15 and 15 ماشي ديال دابا 15 ديال. And I remember the professor الله يذكره بالخير قال لي well written. عقلت على هذا قال لي well written and well argued. You could have substantiated your claims with more arguments, and I gave me 15. And that made me, even more confident that in a given exam, the professor, considers the language, and content alike. So that made me so confident. And when I'm talking about accuracy, it's also part of my experience. All right. Thank you. Got it, Professor. Marhaba. Si Bashir, which current trends or emerging areas in linguistics do you think offer promising opportunities for PhD research? Si Bashir, you don't need to rush into, sophisticated models. In your case, if you want to conduct a thesis in theoretical linguistics, this does not have to do with a trend. A trend maybe when it comes to the analytical tools like optimality theory and its versions. But for issues, you can study an issue that dates back, that was studied in the 50s or 60s. You can study it now. So I don't know if I can help you with these suggestions. I can suggest things. If it's morphology, phonology, syntax, but you can study it with your own data and with more data, so that you will compare your results with previous ones, etc. Okay, so but the area that is in Morocco that is the least researched, semantics and pragmatics, there are enough, but also pragmatics anyway. Most research are phonology, morphology, syntax. Okay. Zhor Fairuz says, I had some bad experience as a student with some professors. I'm so sorry, فيروز. غادي نعتذر لك أختي، نعتذر بشدة. ما غاديش نتريتي هاد لا كيستيون، اسمحي لي بزاف الله يخليك، باسكو vous avez mentionné les collègues، واحد فيهم الله يرحمه توفى. Anyway, no, my colleagues know. I don't want them to be mentioned here, and I don't want them to be talked about in a bad way. الله يجازيكم بخير. And I know you do it out of good faith. يعني انت بحسن النية، ولكن انا ما خصنيش نهضر على هذا الشيء. الله يجازيك بخير واسمح لي بزاف. Thank you so much. Role and interdisciplinary study between semiotics and semantics maybe. Interdisciplinary study. You are probably talking about semiotics and semantics. Yeah, this is interdisciplinary. This is interdisciplinary, but why? Why are you going to because semiotics, semantics, just do semiotics, because semiotics is also, subsumes semantics, so you can just do semiotics, and semiotics is rarely, researched, to the best of my knowledge. Nawal, what do you want? Oh, hi, Nawal. Nawal is responding to, I don't know whether you heard us talking about you, Nawal. I talked about you. So it was Nawal who worked on SIOP. So I mentioned you even by name, and I made the point that your thesis was done in the best way possible, in the best way you could. It's good, and you worked hard on it, and the jury members who were with me, they marveled at the way you came up with your thesis, with at the final version of your work. Let me say. All right, good. Fayrouz says, what about research proposal about teaching writing using AI? Ustada Fayrouz, had this topic, believe it or not, this topic, كتسمعوني ولا ما كتسمعونيش؟ You mark my word. إلا بغينا نقولوا en anglais عقل عليها هي you ماشي mark my word, no, you mark my word. You mark my word. There will come a time. أهلا سي عيسى. مرحبا بك خويا, بارك الله فيك. So there will come a time when these topics will يقولوا بحال الشتاء. They will proliferate to a point where they will become almost nonsensical. اسمحوا لي زعما نقول لكم غيوقع لهذا التوبيك بحال داك الشيء ديال post covid education. دابا حاليا باقي اللي تيز ما تسوتوناوش على بوست كوفيد اديوكيشن ولا على الكوفيد ولا على فهمتي. ويوزين اي يقدر يجي شي وقت اخر غير 5 سنين 6 سنين هادشي كيديفلوبا دغيا, راه يقدر ما يسميوش الاي اي, يسميو شي حاجه اخرى. ساتيكم بمثال. في 2009 2010 شنو كان كول اللي خدم على كول كمبيوتر اسيستد لانجويج ليرنينغ. 2008 2007 2010 كاع كان سميتو كول. كلشي بغى يخدم على كول. شويه اي سي تي. شكون كيهضر على اي سي تي دابا؟ نوبودي. دابا ولات بلاصتو اي اي. من 2023 22 لهنا كلشي اي اي. and I bet there will not be a department or a laboratory where AI is not the keyword. غيكون داكشي ساتوري ولينا من هنا 6 سنين 5 سنين 4 سنين. Okay. Par contre, teaching writing using certain techniques, certain methods, راه كيبقى هو موضوع قديم, ولكن ديما فيه الانوفيشن. انا خفت غير داك الاي اي مازال اللي بدا كيخدم فيه صافي 2 ans, هذا راه مزيان, حيت يلاه يعني الاي اي الناس بدات كتانتيغري في بعد. يعني واحد الوقت غادي يكون شنو غادي نزيدو كاع حنايا في هذا الشيء كاع ديال الاي اي. You see, هذا هو that's my point about this, and I'm so sorry. Okay. Thank you, Fayrouz. You have been very active with us today. It's really nice. I just appreciate this. Barakallahu fiik. Okay, Mustafa, there is a professor who supervises students who work on the SIOP model. He's Prof. Abdullah Al-Halwi. Yes, so that's good. So you can refer him to the professor. And again, my advice to our friends here who would like to become doctoral students, apply wherever. ياك الحمد لله كاينين الويب سايتس ديال اليونيفرسيتي فين ما بان لينا شي اكس غادي ينفع ليه. اش خاسر؟ Okay, it is very interesting. No, so I think Nawal can help. She is a pioneer now, because I think hers is the first study that compares in Morocco, that compares the competency-based approach and the SIOP model. Nawal is doing great, honestly. So I know her very well, and I know the type of responsibilities she has, and yet she excels academically. You know, we are all proud of these types of profiles. Okay, thank you. Is there any question? Initially, I wanted to have that introduction in this live, and then move to the work on those questions. We started on TikTok yesterday, and I just wonder whether it's better to repeat what we did so that the friends who did not join us will benefit from our discussion of these items. And they are of paramount importance because not only do they sensitize people to the importance of grammar, not only do they show that no matter how good your knowledge, your grammatical grammar knowledge is, there are always lacunae, there are always gaps, and it's an opportunity. And also it's a learning opportunity in general. Si Bashir says, are there conferences or workshops you would suggest I engage with to build a stronger research profile? Yes, there are many. سي بشير انا كنقترح عليك بعدا الميد كونفرنس اذا كان التخصص ديالك في الدومين ديال لونسينيومون هذا وديال education. La conférence MATE, M-A-T-E, okay, Moroccan Association for Teachers of English, they are doing great. Amazing profiles, amazing organizers, and it's there where you see knowledge, being exchanged and being developed. But, on Facebook, you will notice that there are so many conferences that are announced in different parts of the country, at different universities, so it's nice. I strongly advise you, my friend, to attend as many conferences as you can. You will be known, that's number one. Number two, you will be learning. Number three, you will develop your language, you becomes professional, etc. So I wish you good luck in this regard. What's left in AI research is technical rather than pedagogical. Et voilà. ودابا خصنا شي واحد يدير لنا بحث على the technical side of AI. That's good, Si Mustafa. Yes, that's true. Okay, thank you. You made me laugh with that. Mrs. Filter, can I enroll in English studies even though I had a low grade in the national exam? My English has improved a lot since then and I really want to continue learning. This will depend on which city you are, which department, and what policy the department is following. You see, that's my answer, Mrs. Filter. Abdu 11, there is a faculty of artificial intelligence in education in China. Active faculty members and departments have seen that we call ICT. That's why I believe it's not a fair comparison. Okay, Abdu 11 says, there is a faculty of artificial intelligence in education. It's not the comparison. Of course, we're not comparing. How can you compare, present day technology with its predecessors? Of course, we cannot compare what is not comparable. What I said was that at a specific, period of time, there was this much talk about call. And then there was this much talk in research. I'm talking about academic research. Wherever there was a conference, you will have call. Then later on, ICT. Now it's AI. Regardless of whether there are institutions, regardless of the robots that amaze us. There is this Moroccan lady on TikTok and in social media accompanying a robot and visiting those places. That's marvelous. حنا كنهضروا خويا على الناس اللي كتقول لك اي في الرايتين. عرفت شحال كنعرف الناس كيكتبوا على اي in writing, AI in research, AI in writing. That's the comparison. The proliferation of this. So I'm not comparing at all. Not a comparison. It's providing examples of waves of buzzwords, of catchphrases and buzzwords. Okay. Will the masters still include written oral exams? Mr. Sheikh, I answered this question more than 10 times, and I said, just in case you did not hear me, I do not know all the details about that. Therefore, I am not able to express myself in this regard, lest I should say things that are not factually true. Okay. Zahor, but I still a research. I still a research gap of trying assist in improving students' writing skills in Moroccan classrooms. Okay. So you can. I'm not saying it's wrong. You will find certainly someone who is interested in this. غير هو التخوف هو ان يجي واحد الوقت مثلا في ان كونكور دو ريكروتمون غيجيو لي كانديدا 40 كانديدا شحال من ثيسيس غتلقاي على الاي اي ان رايتنج. Do you think you will be the only one? ولكن ما تاخذيش انا هذه سي بيرسونال اوبينيون. انا ماشي هي الحق. انا ما كنقولش الحقيقه المطلقه. انا كنقول لك الراي ديالي واللهم نخدم على شي حاجه اللي غتكون يعني اللي ما غادشي اللي غتكون شويه متفرده كومين. غتلقى 5-6 اللي تيتر اي you will end up doing the same thing as the others, and this is a strictly personal perspective and I apologize. Okay. بالحق كموضوع من ناحيه ديال سميتو اكاديميا وهذا if you go through the process no one will blame you. راه ما كنقولكش غيكون مثلا غيكون شي عثره ولا هذا البحث ولا غادي يكون بحال البحوث الاخرين. هذا هو لو بوين. انا الى دوزت 3 سنين 4 سنين على في شي بحث كندير البحث خصني ننتج شي حاجه اللي زعما لو تيتر يكون شويه مميز على سميتو. ما الا كان بحال هذا لو تيتر بحال هذا كوني متاكده الاخت زهور كوني متاكده راه غادي يجي واحد الوقت تلقاي كلشي اي ان رايتين اي وكلشي داير questionnaire for students and interview with teachers وكلشي فوالا that's the thing. Okay, nice. So I hope I have answered the questions here. Thank you. It's really nice. It's good. Is it true that per the recent doctoral reforms, the articles that you publish ahead of your defense must be linked to your thesis topic? If so, what is the reason behind this? Okay. Let me say it this way. What would be an ideal doctorate student? Answer: a good ideal doctorate student like one of my students غنذكرو انا ماشي شغلي سميتو كريم الحياني خدم معايا الدكتوراه اللي سوبر اكتيف تبارك الله عليه. The requirement في الدكتوراه هو deux articles. هو قبل ما يسوتوني راه كانت شي 10 واقيلا. So my advice is that since you have 4 or 5 years to spend on the thesis, if the administration requires me to write things that relate to the thesis, that's so much the better because it will be easier for you to publish something from your thesis. But at the same time I should diversify. ما قبلهمش لي انا نعطيهم سيدي غير هذوك ياك بغيتو هذوك دو زارتيكل اللي على تيز ها هما والاخرين نخليهم بورتون ريكروتمون لان كوميم ماشي غير دو زارتيكل باش تمشي تحطي الدوسي ديالك ابري الدكتوراه باش تدخلي كاستاذه. It's good to come equipped with more articles, so though the other articles you can enjoy working on the things that outside of your thesis, but the two it's very easy. It's a gift actually when they ask you to publish things that relate to the thesis. The easiest publication is one that relates to the thesis. So what are you afraid of? Okay, but thank you for asking in a way because you need to ask this question. Thank you. Si Bashir, marhaba. Si Mustafa, I'm the only one who worked on world Englishes and global English language teaching. Yeah, because it never occurred to me to see someone working on that. Except that, Si Mustafa, you have to be clear on this. And I'm sure you are aware that there is this borderline between I would love to see you, continuing research in the area, because there will come a time when you will be representing this area, in Morocco. Okay? بالحق, as a professor, only one version is allowed because it's a formal setting. Okay? Thank you. Okay, my friends, it's 1 hour and 45 minutes. بغيتوا نحبسوا هنايا إن شاء الله حتى الغدا. I think it will be a good idea, yes or no? Okay, what do you think? In the absence of questions, we can bid farewell, and tomorrow إن شاء الله غادي نجيب donc this is an announcement for tomorrow. Tomorrow we will work on one of the previous exams at the teaching center. It was an entrance exam for teachers, for beginning teachers. And we will do what we did on TikTok yesterday. There was a very interesting live session, of course. And I will flip the camera because I checked it and it worked. So I will flip the camera and then read the questions and try to answer them together to improve our English, okay? سي أحمد, واش بصح هذا الشيء بقى أنا not aware of this. They have removed. Don't trust anything that comes unofficially. That's why je ne peux pas me prononcer. I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. Okay? Donc I'll inquire about this too and see, but it's highly unlikely. عرفتي باش دير الماستر وما ديرش البحث راسي. Anyway, thank you, my dear friends. Let's meet tomorrow, inshallah, at 10 o'clock to enjoy a very good session where we will struggle with a few questions and to discover our dormant knowledge of grammar. So thank you very much, and have a good time. Thanks a lot.